Welcome back to my channel. It is I, Lisa. I also go by the Alkali Yogi. To some of you, it's a reintroduction. To some of you, it's a welcome because you've not met me before. If you're just joining us now, we've just completed a yin class together that was specifically targeting anxiety. Now that we've let go of our anxieties, we are about to do a yin class specifically designed to help us access sleep. So if it is your first time here, I welcome you all. A little bit about myself. I am a licensed holistic lifestyle coach with the Czech Institute. I'm also a certified yoga teacher with certifications in hatha, vinyasa, restorative, as well as yin and meditation and breath work. And speaking of breath work, we're going to begin with some breath work. So I will invite you to come onto your mats and grab a couple of blocks if you have them for support. Now, since we're all doing yoga at home for the most part these days, if you don't have blocks, feel free to grab maybe a cushion from your sofa or some pillows from your bedroom, or even some books, whatever can offer you the greatest amount of support. And I'll give you some more options. You can either get onto your back and join us in a traditional Shavasana or corpse pose, or you could be sitting upright like I am. I'm sitting on a block. Either way, your spine should be long and soft and feeling supported, whether it's by your mat, the earth beneath you, or supported because your belly button is active and you're keeping yourself upright. So you have the option to use your right or your left hand. Forgive me for all the right-handed folks out there, but I'm a lefty, so I'm going to do this with my left hand. You can bend your three middle fingers. Thumb and pinky finger can stay out. We're going to do some alternate nostril breath work that will help us to merge the left side brain with the right side brain so we can find what? Balance. So it's not always about living in the feminine and the masculine. The best way to achieve health and well-being, or to restore it if needed, is to find balance. And so oftentimes, if you're like me, you're very cerebral, you're living in the left hemisphere, which is a more sort of masculine, the masculine sort of oriented side of the brain, with due cause because of the times that we're in. This kind of will help to shift you back a little bit. So it brings you a little bit more creativity and softness and just grounding. So beginning with your hand of choice, you're going to use your pinky finger to plug the right nostril, and your thumb finger will plug the left nostril. Let's all take a breath in through the right nostril. So we're taking our thumb to close the left nostril. Take a breath in through the right. And then close the right nostril, let it out through the left. And then breathe in through the left nostril. Fill up. Don't be afraid to take a full breath here. Let it out through the right. Fill up in through the right nostril. Hold. Open up the left nostril, close the right, empty out through the left. Again, breathe in through the left. Close the left, empty out through the right. Fill up all the way into your lower belly. Breathe in. The chest is the last thing to rise. Empty out through the left. Fill up again through the left. Take any stickiness out of the diaphragm by pushing your belly button out. Close out your left nostril. Breathe out through the right. One more time. Breathe in through the right. Empty out through the left. And don't be afraid to Draw your belly button in towards your spine to expunge, to really release and exhale any breath that you have in you. That's what it means to take full breaths. Really filling in and filling up on the breath in, and then not being afraid to push everything out, being on empty. All right, so we're going to start with a fetal pose. So if you're on your back, you can just gently roll over onto your right side body. And those of us that were on our sit bones or sitting upright, we can just come onto our right side body. You can use your bicep or even a pillow for your right ear, drawing your knees in closer towards your chest, really mimicking the shape that you took in the womb. And now that we've taken any stickiness out of the diaphragm and we've warmed up the lower belly and our breathing apparatus, continuing to fill the body with breath, with life force. We're starting and staying here for a few breaths just to let the body know this is a safe space. It's a shape that it recognizes as a place of security and of warmth and of love. And we want to keep this feeling throughout our practice today. Take one more full cycle of breath here. When you've emptied out, push yourself up by taking your left palm down. Perhaps you're extending your left leg out and bringing yourself up into a tabletop. We're going to start with a couple of cat-cow just to lubricate the spine and warm it up in case it is your first yoga class of the day. So the ankles, the wrists are right underneath the shoulders. The elbows are not locked, so avoid any hyperextension in the elbows here. And the knees are right underneath the sit bones. On the breath in, point your booty and point your crown up as you fill up with breath. Exhale, draw the chin inwards, press the shoulder blades away from one another. Dome out your upper back. Breathe in, fill up. Send your tailbone up, crown up, chest is open. Find your cobra chest. Exhale, push it out. One more time, breathe in. Fill up, hollow out your lower back. Exhale. I know I said that was the last pump, but let's do one more. Fill up. Make it succulent. Make it full. Exhale. Tailbone down. Crown down. Hollow out the belly. Cat. All right, so we're going to go into, let's first actually stretch out the backs of the knees. So extend your right leg out. Come onto the ball of your right foot. The heel is directly over the toes, and you can gently rock forward and back. Just opening up the backs of the calves, releasing the knees in case you took a seated shape whilst we were doing our breath work. And then bend the right knee, extend the left leg out, same thing. The ankle is over the toes. Go ahead and rock yourself back and forth, stretching not only the back of the knees, opening up the calves a little bit, and even stretching out the bottom of the feet. And then we're going to come into a little toe squat. Speaking of stretching the bottom of the feet, you know, there are so many reflexology points in the feet, so let's target them. So I'm going to use a block. So you can come onto your heels. Coming onto your heels, you have the option of staying here. I reached for my pinky toes. You might need to do the same so that they are not forgotten, guys. Pinky toes matter too, yeah? However, if that's too much sensation, you can actually bring your knees right over top a block or whatever support you have, just to decrease the sensation. And then you're going to lift your torso upright, as though you're sliding down a wall. So the ears and the shoulders stay right over the hips. And you're feeling the opening at the bottom of the feet. It's good if you can to aim to bring the inner ankles together. But if you can't, that's something that you can work towards. Having the intention is a great starting point. And then breathe. Believe me, I know it's a challenge to breathe here, but this is the part of the practice. Can we breathe through discomfort? Are we able to self-soothe? Can we cope? Wherever you're feeling the most sensation, perhaps it's at the bottom of the feet, maybe it's the toe joints, it might even be the ankle or the knees. If it's the knees, please lay off and come off the edge, because we're never wanting to invite pain, especially into joints like the knees. Can you send breath there? Actively visualize breathing into that space. We're not here for much longer. For me, I'm really feeling it under my toe mounds. I think this is a challenging shape, especially for people that have bunions. I danced for 10 years. I took ballet, and although I was able to cultivate really muscular, long muscles in my legs, my feet ended up paying for that. And so this is very uncomfortable in the bunion joint, but I find a way to breathe through it. So if I can do it, I'm sure you can too. All right, we're actually ready to come out of that. So place your hands onto your mat and lower your knees if they were on some type of support, and go ahead and pitter patter that out. So tapping your toes out. And then just to counter that, we're going to sit onto our heels and lift our knees up. I'm going to invite the block under our knees again. So we had, if you notice earlier with the toe squat, our ankles were in flexion. And so now we have them in an extension. We're not going to be here for long, just enough to kind of counter that shape. Remind yourself that you are safe. You got this. Use the breath to carry you through. And place your hands onto your mat and slide your knees away. And since we had our knees again at a fold, at a flexion, if you will, let's go ahead and lengthen out and stretch out through the knee again. And do that gentle rocking forward and back just to release the knees and bring them a little bit of TLC. And we're going to move into a calf massage. So we're going to take our left knee and place it right over our right calf. So still keeping the arms and the elbows stacked. Rather, the shoulders and the wrists are stacked, but the elbows stay soft. And you can kind of start at the top of the calf muscle here, so right underneath the knee joint. And you can make small circles. You can go clockwise and then counterclockwise, finding any spots of tenderness. And you can take your knee further down the calf, over to the left and to the right. Can I be honest? This is one of my least favorite shapes in yin. I'm actually finding a lot of tenderness. Comment below if you are also finding a lot of tender spots here. Or if you are like me and suffer from bunion pain from time to time. Let me know, former dancers. So the reason why I do it, even though it's not one of my favorite, is because my mentor used to always say to me, if you don't like it and it's uncomfortable, it means you need it. And I find that to be true. So I try to avoid less and less these days. Just kind of deal with things head on. I think that as a society, avoiding everything that makes us, or attempting to avoid things that make us uncomfortable or bring us to, a little bit of anxiety or fear, I don't think that that has benefited us. I think that for me, it's been my experience that the things that I face head on are never as big in reality as I've made them out to be in my head. Maybe it's the same for you. All right, so let's lower the left knee. Maybe you need to take a little shake of the hips here. Maybe you want to rock forward and back, bring some relief, respite, or is it respite? I always forget. To the wrists even. Come forward and back. Take whatever movement feels good. Maybe a circular motion of the hips. It's a nice way to also lubricate and loosen up the hip joints, which are supported by the quads and the hamstrings. So again, inviting a gentle opening and a release and activation of muscles that maybe haven't been used a lot today. If we've been sitting or stagnant today, sitting or standing too much, by the way, will both have impacts on your muscles. All right, second side, guys. So right knee on your left calf, starting up as high as you can. Behind the left knee, preferably, if you can get in there. And, you decide how much sensation you want. If you missed my spiel in the first video about the yin principles, in yin we're always targeting and reaching, or chasing rather, a level of discomfort, a level of stress and tension, but never pain. And so rather than going for a 10, you're maybe starting at a 2 out of 10 as far as discomfort goes, and allowing that to build up to a 5 out of 10 over time as gravity does what it needs to do, as the body opens up and releases slowly on its timeline, on her timeline. Finding a lot of tenderness here. I'd say my left side might be even a little bit more tender than my right. Let me know if that's the same for you. All right. So that brings us to the end of that. So from here, let's lower ourselves onto our belly. We're going to go into hug the planet. So if you don't know what that looks like, we are going to lay our left ear to the mat. Actually, I'll face you guys first, yeah. So let's lay our right cheek to the mat. Let's cactus our left elbow and bend our left knee. So you've created two 90-degree angles. Your left palm is facing down. Your inner left knee is on the earth. And I invite you to bring a little bit of activation through squeezing of the glutes and sending your inner inner left hip closer towards the earth. Inviting more opening, more external rotation of the left hip. And so whilst you're not aggressively sending the inner left thigh down, you are inviting a bit of activation. This is, after all, still yin. Your right leg is long and extended, and your right arm can either be beside you or can be cactused out. And the rest of you can just let go. Let go and let be. You can start to extend your left leg long. You can leave your left arm as is if you like. You can turn over to look at the right. If you've not cactused your right arm, go for it now, and then bend your right knee. Hug the planet, second side. Remembering to bring enough activation so you can find more opening in the right hip. One of the reasons why I come to my mat is that I'm often easily overwhelmed, and when I'm able to take shapes like this, especially on my mat where I'm supported, I'm reminded that I can just let go at times, that I'm supported by Mother Earth, Mother Nature, the Source, whatever name you wish to give her. At this moment, she's doing the work. I'm not falling into a black hole because of her support, her grace, her love. So nice when you feel that, even when you don't have the strength to hold yourself upright, she's got you. She shows up for you like she's doing in this moment. And we're going to extend our right leg long to meet our left. We're just going to neutralize the spine by lowering our space between the brows, also known as the third eye, on the back of our hands that are stacked on top of one another, and helping the cervical neck to neutralize by actively breathing into that space and sending breath into the vertebra, whilst simultaneously softening the throat, softening the sides of the neck. Maybe you're noticing some changes here. Perhaps you're feeling a change in energy up and down your spine, or in fluids moving up and down your spine. And if not, don't pass any judgment. It is very subtle. Something that you'll become more in tune with the more time you spend on your mat. And then we're going to push ourselves back into a child's pose. We're not going to stay here for very long, but it is nice to bring some fold to the hip flexors. I'm going to bring my third eye onto a block, but you have the choice of bringing your head onto the mat, or even, again, creating stacked fists and bringing your forehead there. I'm going to point my arms behind me, but your arms can be pointed forward. Either way, the elbows are soft. This is just a nice counter for the hip flexors, which were in extension, and now we're bringing them into flexion. The spine is long. The hips reach for the heels. The breath stays full. If you're new to yin, perhaps you're noticing that we're not increasing or elevating our heart rate. That is because we are actively targeting the non-superficial muscles, the more supportive parts of our joints, and what holds us upright, like the connective tissues, the fascia, the ligaments. As we hold our shapes for long periods of time, what we're able to do is to not only lubricate the joints, but bring more elasticity back to the body. And that in turn not only gives us greater range of motion, it also helps us to avoid injury as we move through our day-to-day tasks. We're going to now come out of our child's pose. I'm going to walk my hands forward. If your hands are already forward, just press down through the knuckles, or through the index and the thumb finger, pull yourself up into a tabletop. And again, take any movement here that feels good for you. Before we lower back onto the belly, I'm going to take a couple more cat-cows. I'm going to breathe in and stretch the front chain extension, and then breathe out. Stretch the back of the body. Then we're going to lower back onto our belly. And we're going to take a mad cow shape. So I'm going to start again with the the right arm, so I can face you first. I'm going to press down through my left hand and thread my right arm through. So I'm targeting the outside of the right shoulder, the anterior. And then I'm going to take my left arm and bend it like so. So pelvis is firmly supported and rooted into your mat. And we're going to start here, but we're going to build. If this is enough of a sensation for you, you can stay here. So you're noticing we're targeting two areas. You're probably feeling this on the back side of the left shoulder and the front side of the right shoulder. This is a really effective way to soften the upper spine and the muscles surrounding the shoulders. That's where we hold a lot of tension. It's how we hold our breath and squeeze our shoulders up towards our ears. So by bringing enough stress to these areas, once we release them, they're more likely to soften, to become more supple. So now if you wish to add to this shape, we're going to bend the right arm and bring the palm of the hand onto the outer left shoulder. And then you can even walk your left hand up to meet the right. Maybe your fingertips touch and maybe not. I'm feeling a lot of sensation here, but I'd still say I'm at a 5 out of 10. Remembering that we're not trying to really go past that because of the nature of our holds, and the fact that we hold shapes for an extended period of time means that the sensation will intensify over time, and we want to give the body space and grace to do so, avoiding any cutting or sharp needle-like sensation. And to come out of this, we're going to deconstruct by bringing our left hand down towards our right hip again, releasing the right hand back onto the mat, lowering the left hand, pressing down through the left palm, lifting up, moving whatever support you had, then placing your right hand down, threading with your left hand, lowering your left cheek or your left ear, and then bending your right arm. Right palm of the hand is on the back of the left hip. Breathing into all of the target areas, inviting for more space and an opening to the outer left shoulder and the right shoulder. And if you wish to build from here, you can bend your left elbow, bringing your left hand onto your right shoulder and walking your right hand up to meet your left. Noticing how the body is perfectly asymmetrical. How you may have more or less range on this side. And being okay with that. And slowly come out of this, bringing your left hand, or rather your right hand to your left hip, lowering your left hand down. Releasing your right hand, placing your right palm down to lift you up. We're going to lower here for just a few minutes, a few breaths rather. Forehead is neutral, neck and spine are neutral rather, and forehead is resting on the backs of your hands. Taking your attention to both of your shoulders. Notice if you're feeling anything between the shoulders and the fingers. Go inward. Become curious. Take a genuine interest in yourself. We're going to move into a heart opener. So you can come onto your, you can face the back and come onto your seat. Sit up so that you can set up for any support. There are a couple of variations for going into fish pose. Oftentimes you'll see a T-like shape or a reverse T like this. So you have the back block at a higher setting and the lower block which goes right underneath your heart, or for the ladies, if you're wearing a bra, and underneath your bra strap. I'm actually going to go for more of a heart opener. By the way, you could also do this and lay this lower or even remove this, just depending on how elevated you're comfortable having your heart. I'm going to go for a lower setting with the block that goes underneath my head so that my heart is even more elevated. I can get more of an opening. Find whatever feels good to you, because it is a very vulnerable shape. And I want you to be comfortable because we're going to be holding it for a while. So swinging onto your sit bones, go ahead and lower yourself. Knees are bent, so the knees are pointed up. Soles of the feet are onto the mat. Oh man, this is glorious. All right. Option to take your arms out to the side like so. Option to extend your legs out. If you're doing that, go for one at a time. And then invite healing, invite breath, invite green light into your heart space. Let it heal any trauma. Let the light energy do the work, the repair. All you have to do is stay open. Your only job is to receive it. Invite it, and then receive it. Invite you to take a deep breath and sigh it out. Let's do another one. Take a full breath in through the nose. Sigh it out. That activation in the larynx and the voice box is a way to trigger, or rather it informs the brain that you are relaxing, that you're releasing, that you're letting go of tension, and that it's safe. It's another tool that we could use more frequently. It's available to us at any time and anywhere. And although the timer has gone off, if you're relishing this and enjoying it, I invite you to stay here. I'm going to come out of this shape, but there's no need to. I'm going to take myself out. I'm going to bend my knees and I'm going to roll myself onto my right side body. You have the option of interlacing your fingers behind your head too if you like, but just roll over, hang onto your mat, and then removing the blocks. If you're choosing to stay in that heart opener, in that fish pose, you can still do what we're going to do next, which is we're going to do a figure 4 twist. So, actually let's do a sloppy twist. We're going to knock the knees in together. Again, you can do this even from fish pose if you're still holding that shape. And then on the exhale, allow for your knees to fall right. Option to stay here and grab some support if you need it underneath your right knee, if you need it. You also have the option to hook your right ankle over your left knee. Your arms can be teed out, they can be beside your hips. Your gaze, you've got options as well. You can keep your gaze upright, you can look towards your left. You could also look towards your right, which will give you a different activation in the pectoral muscles. A lot of times I like looking in the direction my knees are in. It's just a different sensation. It's nice to end with a twist because it's a great way to get your digestive pumps going and flowing if they're not. It's also a really nice way to detoxify the organs, the liver, the kidneys, etc. And perhaps you're noticing that we're also still bringing lubrication to the hips by finding our left hip in internal rotation, whilst the right hip is actually in an external rotation. And so if you took your right ankle of your left knee, release the hook here, and press down to bring your knees back up to center and breath in. Start with your knees together. And breath out, allow for the knees to fall over to the right. Notice if you need some support for your left knee, if it's floating. If there's some tension or strain there, please come back, come out of your edge. If you're wanting more sensation, go ahead and hook your left ankle over top your right. And find a variation for your ears that suits you. Find a place for your drishti, your gaze to rest. And take a couple more full cycles of breath here. Aim to make the breaths more full. Aim to make the exhales more empty. Unhook your left ankle if you need to. Press down to draw the knees back up. Give yourself a hug. Draw the knees in towards your chest, unless you're still in fish pose, which, by the way, you can stay in if you wish to make it your final shape before we go into our Shavasana. If you're on your back, you can gently rock yourself from side to side, giving your lower back a bit of a massage. You can roll your knees clockwise and counterclockwise. And as those 3 chimes indicated, we are at the end of our class, so extend your legs out one at a time. Find, again, the right spot for your arms. I'm going to bring myself upright so I can read your meditation to lullaby you into your, what I hope will be extended Shavasana. So make sure that your body is soft and that you're feeling relaxed and supported. You're allowing Mother Nature to do what she does, which is hold you, cradle you, love you. Get comfortable and relax. The day is over. Take a deep breath. As you breathe in, notice the feeling of the breath entering your nose. Feel the breath travel to your lungs. Imagine the oxygen spreading through your body, filling your legs and feet, filling your arms and hands. Imagine the oxygen clearing your mind. Now feel the breath leaving your body, taking with it any negative, toxic, or stagnant energy that has accumulated throughout the day. The day is over. There is nothing left to do today. Today is done, and all of today's work is over. Let thoughts of your day drift through your mind. Do not judge them. Just notice them without emotional attachment. Watch them as you would a documentary. Learn from them without emotional attachment. You are just an observer. Recognize what made you feel good throughout the day. Give thanks for all that was good. Give thanks for anything that went right, no matter how small. Recognize what gave you discomfort or unhappiness. These things are only meant to teach you where you need to make changes. They are not bad things, only things to learn and grow from. There are no mistakes, only lessons. Accept the lessons and let all the thoughts of the day fade away. Watch the image of your day get smaller and smaller. Let the image of the day completely fade from your mind. There is nothing to do now but relax in the current moment. Exist only in this moment. Focus on your breath and the way it feels entering, filling, and leaving your body. The day is over. There is nothing left for you to do. You are safe. You are warm. You are protected. You are loved. Stay in this moment. Notice your breath. Notice the feeling of the surface beneath you. Let yourself feel supported by it. Open yourself to gratitude. Feel gratitude for the warmth and protection of your home. Feel gratitude for the people who love you. Feel gratitude for the support of the universe. Continue to let feelings of gratitude flow through you. Stay in the vibration of gratitude as you go to sleep. Stay in the vibration of gratitude to attract more for which to be grateful. Bring this vibration with you into your dreams. Let it attract an even better tomorrow. You are safe. You are warm. You are protected. You are loved. You are worthy. You are deserving. You are a divine part of the collective. You are entitled to happiness and joy. You deserve to be loved and to love. You deserve to feel proud and successful. You are loved. You are worthy. You are deserving. Good night. Thank you again for joining me for tonight's practice. And thank you for sharing your breath with me. And thank you for your commitment to being a part of the change that you wish to see in your world. Every time we come to our mats, we unlayer, we remove a bit of trauma, a bit of pain, and we leave it on our mats and we don't take it with us. Giving ourselves the permission to shine brightly and wholly gives others the permission to do the same. So from my heart to yours, thank you. Please go in peace.